All right, so heel elevated Smith machine squats, all right? Now we wanna get the heels elevated for just about everybody. There's some people that have really good ankle mobility and they could be flat-footed and get full depth. Absolutely, there's plenty of you guys out there. But you guys are freaks of nature. Most of us are not. So we're gonna need to take that ankle mobility out of it for most of us. I know I can't do it flat-footed, right? So I wanna make sure that we do a video here explaining that we're taking the ankle mobility out of it for the majority of people, but again, there's gonna be some of you that are gonna be perfectly fine and comfortable squatting flat-footed, that's okay. But here, what I wanna make sure that we're giving you guys a visual of, Chris, if you come over and just see from the side, we wanna make sure that we're fully stacked, right, underneath us. So she's straight up and down from where that bar is. Too often do we see people take a couple steps forward, they think this is directly underneath them within the Smith machine. It's not, right? And we most certainly don't wanna be up any further than that, because some women will do it where they're take another step forward, where they're squatting like this, right? And it's easier when you do that for sure. Unfortunately, it's not very effective when you're squatting that way. We want to make sure those feet are directly underneath us, so our heel wedges, right, whether we're using weights or actual heel wedges, should be directly underneath us. We'll get those heels elevated, and now same thing as the leg press, same thing as the hack squat, same thing as the pendulum. We want to get to a place of full knee flexion, which is going to be a little bit different from person to person, but ultimately most people are going to be able to get plenty below parallel with no issues whatsoever. Go ahead, Marina. So I want to make sure that we're getting nice and deep there where the hamstring is touching the calf at the top, and then we're going to come straight back up, and that's as good as it gets. Now, one more thing that I want to show you though here is come back down at the bottom. When we're looking at the bottom, and the reason why we want these heels elevated is we want to be more up and down, more upright in this, right? Most people you're going to see are a little bit more forward at the bottom. I don't know if you could show them that.
What do you mean?
Come up first. And you know what? I'll show them. There are a lot of people that end up at the bottom of the squat and they're gonna be looking more like this, where their torso is a lot more forward, not necessarily rounded at the spine so much, but their torso is a lot more forward. If we can, we wanna get somebody in a position where they can get those heels elevated and then be a lot more upright as far as their torso is concerned at the bottom of a squat, okay? So if you're somebody where you've been doing a back squats for a long time, and like I said, when you get to the bottom, your torso is a little bit more bent over on top of yourself, that's where we wanna make sure that we understand the Smith machine squat the way that we're programming it. We're doing a heel elevated Smith machine squat. The whole idea behind that is to bias that knee flexion and knee extension so that we can affect those quads most predominantly, right? And that's gonna come from being a little bit more upright, as opposed to if we were bent over, we'd be getting a little bit more tension at the glutes and the hips there, right? Not necessarily bad, but again, a different exercise for a different outcome.